We spend hours every single day scrolling, liking, sharing, usually just looking for a bit of a laugh or some connection, right? Well, today in this explainer, we're unpacking a pretty chilling reality. We're going to look at how this exact same digital ecosystem, the one we all love and use, has repeatedly become a literal weapon of irreversible destruction.
So let's start with a sobering reality check. The digital world that is sitting right there in your pocket, it has the power to literally end innocent lives. And look, we aren't just talking about a damaged reputation here or a brand getting canceled. We are examining actual real-world cases where the sheer weight of social media led to the ultimate tragedy. It's a space where just one single post, a baseless rumor, or a malicious deepfake can spiral completely, terrifyingly out of control.
Let's dive into this stark contrast, because it really is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you've got the internet as this incredible tool for growth. You can build a massive business from scratch, you can find your community, you can showcase your talents to the entire globe. But then, on that exact same platform, literally in the exact same comment section, everyday users can completely transform into this impatient judge, jury, and executioner.
Section 1. Guilty until proven innocent. The Internet Mob.
Okay, so in the real world, we have things like investigations and actual evidence, right? But online, the verdict is delivered in seconds, and this timeline in Kerala shows exactly how fatal that speed can be. Deepak, a 42-year-old sales manager, was filmed on a bus by a woman making completely unverified claims of harassment. And I mean, before any official investigation could even get off the ground, he was publicly branded a sexual offender. He lost his job almost instantly and tragically took his own life just days later. And you want to know the absolute most heartbreaking part of all this? When the police finally got around to checking the CCTV footage and actually speaking to the bus driver and the conductor, they found zero evidence of harassment. He was entirely cleared of all charges, but of course, it was way too late. Just wrap your head around the sheer scale of this for a second. 2 million views in just 2 days. That is 2 million people acting as a massive virtual mob, entirely sealing a 42-year-old man's fate without a single shred of actual proof. Now, the woman was later arrested for abetment following his death, though she did get bail. But the core issue here? The internet didn't wait for the truth. It just reacted.
Section 2. The heavy price of trolling. The psychological toll.
We hear it all the time, don't we? Trolling is just brushed off as, oh, it's just part of being online. But this quote from Pranshu's family tells a very different story. The psychological weight is just unbearable. Pranshu was a 10th grade student from Ujjain, a completely self-taught makeup artist who dreamed of a career in fashion. Around Diwali in 2023, he posts a fun transition reel wearing makeup and a sari. It was literally just a creative expression. But the internet? The internet responded with an absolute barrage of brutal homophobic abuse. They mocked his style, turned him into a meme, and subjected this kid to relentless harassment for days.
And the heartbreak really just deepened when he tragically passed away on November 21, 2023. But the cruelty didn't stop there. In what I can only describe as a total loss of basic human empathy, this online mob actually flooded his rest in peace memorial posts with the exact same vile homophobic jokes. It's like they completely forgot there was a real, grieving family sitting right behind the screen.
We see this exact same coordinated destruction with Rajasthani influencer Anita Bishnoi. So she builds this massive, positive community of 1.3 million followers on Facebook, all about culture and social awareness. But then, a video where she simply shared her opinions triggered a massive, coordinated hate campaign. Allegedly driven by another influencer, the abuse escalated into severe real-world threats, culminating in a deeply traumatic moment. She actually attempted to end her life on an Instagram live broadcast while 1,300 people sat there and watched. Thankfully, her husband rushed in and got her to the ICU and she survived. But it perfectly highlights how this kind of coordinated cyber harassment pushes real human beings to their absolute breaking point.
Section 3. When fake news kills, the real-world impact.
Which brings us to an incredibly terrifying real-world consequence. What actually happens when digital rumors spill out onto the physical streets? It forces us to pause and ask a really crucial question about the real-world impact of just thoughtlessly hitting that forward button. Look, we've all gotten those vague warnings in our family group chats, right? But what happens when those warnings trigger mass hysteria? Let's walk through the anatomy of this 2018 Assam tragedy. First up, the rumor. These completely vague WhatsApp warnings about child snatchers start circulating. Second, paranoia totally infects the locals in the Karbi Anglong district. Third, the arrival.
Nilod Paul Das, who was a musician, and Abhijit Nath, a businessman, arrive at a local waterfall. They were just tourists. And fourth, the tragic mob attack. Just because these two young men were outsiders, the terrified locals assumed they were the kidnappers. This panicked crowd completely surrounded their vehicle, totally ignored their desperate pleas that they were innocent, and brutally ended their lives right there on the spot.
8 years. It took nearly 8 years for the courts to finally sentence 20 individuals to life imprisonment for that attack. It just proves how a momentary digital rumor can cause literal lifetimes of regret. Because whoever originally forwarded that rumor, they probably thought they were just sending a harmless safety message, but that single tap of a screen directly fueled a fatal mob attack.
Section 4. Identity theft and deepfakes, the new frontier.
Now, this new frontier of digital abuse isn't just about rumors anymore. It is about the literal theft of your identity. Notice the stark, disturbing contrast here between a fake, highly profitable AI persona and the real woman whose face and reputation were just entirely stolen without consent. So there was this Instagram account named Baby Doll Archie that completely exploded in popularity. It gained 1.4 million followers by posting AI-generated reels, including adult-meaning content. Literally, everyone thought she was a real influencer. But the horrifying twist? That face belonged to a real woman whose identity was hijacked without her ever knowing.
And the perpetrator actually monetized this stolen identity. He made over ₹1,00,000 from these deep-faked reels and a subscription scheme before the police finally tracked his IP and arrested him. But the most horrifying part of all of this, the accused, Pratim Bora, a mechanical engineer, actually knew the victim personally. This wasn't some random hack from across the globe. This was a calculated personal revenge plot. He used AI to literally map her face onto different bodies, totally ruining her reputation by associating her with adult content that she had absolutely nothing to do with. I mean, the trauma of having your face stolen and monetized by millions, it's just unimaginable.
And we see privacy completely shattered in cases like the Jalandhar-based Kolhad pizza couple, Sahaj and Gurpreet. They built this amazing, booming, innovative food startup that went viral for all the right reasons. But then, in 2023, after they refused to pay extortion money, a private, intimate video of them was leaked across Telegram, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And how did the internet react? With relentless memification. People actually flooded the comments of their business posts, their family photos, even videos featuring their child, with just vulgar jokes about the leak. Their thriving business collapsed, their public image was shattered, and the harassment became so suffocating that they were ultimately forced to leave India entirely. The internet quite literally turned their deepest private trauma into a public spectator sport.
Section 5. Think before you type. Our collective responsibility.
So all of this, it really serves as a massive wake-up call about the digital ecosystem we are all actively participating in. And the crucial point to remember is the absolute permanence of the internet. Once a rumor or a deep fake or a private video is out there in the wild, the damage to a family's dignity is virtually irreversible. You cannot simply undo the psychological damage inflicted on someone like Pranshu, or bring back innocent lives like Deepak or those friends in Assam. Because even if content gets reported, even if it gets taken down, the ripple effects, the memes, and the whispers, they remain forever.
So I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. The next time you go to hit like, or share, or type out a quick comment, just ask yourself, are you part of the crowd ruining an innocent life? Are you sharing a verified fact, or are you just fueling a mob? Are you critiquing an idea, or are you destroying a person? Let this be a reminder of the immense, very real power we hold in our hands every single time we log on. We have to use that power responsibly.